About 10 years ago, I was obsessed with success, fame, status, reputation. And for me, my motivation was no matter what it takes to be successful, to break through as an online entrepreneur, is to make a lot of money on the internet, no matter what. Until I reached the point where I still was not experiencing any kind of fulfillment. Of course, I didn't really ask myself straight away, like, how could I experience more fulfillment in life, or how to be more fulfilled in life at all. I went through a major crisis because I was so obsessed with my image in order to create an image and perhaps even seek for approval, validation. And once I kind of received that kind of validation, like, son, I'm proud of you, my entire motivation fell apart. I ended up in a burnout, depression, and I was feeling completely lost in life. 10 years later, and I'm still working on this process, on how to find more meaning and more fulfillment in life, because I often ask myself, like, what if these goals that society has given us, that is what we should be achieving, but these goals can no longer satisfy us or give us fulfillment, then what is it that can give us fulfillment? How can we set our own goals? So now, of course, you know how to overcome, let's say, this expectation that we are going to disappointed when we achieve these financial material goals and still feeling happy, fulfilled and satisfied in life. Jean-Paul, how are you doing? Hey, welcome at another video here at Reflection Time, where I can give yourself some time to reflect. And in today's video, we're going to reflect on this topic: how can we experience more fulfillment in life? So I would like to share 3 insights that I've learned from Vishen Lakhiani, founder, owner of Mind Valley. And I found these insights very profound, and I just got another reminder of it. And that's why I would love to share them with you, because they still also apply in my own life, as I am also, as always, constantly improving myself with, of course, my resistance as well. So currently I'm in the South Downs. It's a little bit more south of England, Harting Downs. It's about an hour more or less driving from my place. On my way here, I noticed that there was a bit more sunlight coming through the clouds, and since I'm here, it's actually very grey. But nonetheless, it's still very pretty, and it feels actually really good to be outside. Anyway, I'm going to keep walking. It's quite windy up here, so hopefully I just found a good spot where I was out of the wind. But let me find a better spot for you, and then let's talk about insight number 1. Now, because of today's video topic, how to experience more fulfillment in life, of course you would expect some very nice, beautiful, warm, colorful cinematography, with lights shining through the leaves, the forest, the trees, etc. But I think it's also the time of the year where we are facing, of course, with this question on how to live more from the heart. Well, basically our environment is like falling into pieces, like we're living in a spiritual dark age or emotional dark age, where the world really seems to catch up with losing itself into separation, and more of us are really asking themselves, how can I reunite with the unity that also exists in me? So when we talk about separation and why we cannot experience true fulfillment and satisfaction in life or joy in life, is because what I already just spoke about, we are conditioned to act from a place of separation. We act because of a condition. You go into a job because you expect a salary in return. That's the condition. And because of that, many of us really disconnect ourselves from our joy, the present moment, and we create a prison of our mind. We feel stuck in the many conditions we have taught ourselves, in these rules society has created for us. So as an example, as a content creator, we see the rules of today's, of what's happening online on social media. We see the behaviors of what many so-called influencers are doing these days, and then we ask ourselves, so these are the rules that I must follow. The rules that I must achieve enormous amount of social engagement in order to matter, in order that my creative work matters. And if I don't get all this social validation, then I don't matter. Now, of course, this is a topic I don't really want to go into today, but I just really want to point out is that we cannot experience fulfillment if we come from a place of a condition or an expectation. So really to come back to the first question or the first insight we must ask ourselves is, what is it that you would like to experience for yourself? That's number one. The number one question. What is it that you want to experience for yourself? So for example, when I'm here in nature, beautiful, I feel a sense of joy. Like I really meant to be here. I feel connected with what is real, Mother Nature. I feel a sense of connection with that. And I could say, you know, I've arrived. There's no more other place to be than just there to be. Just to be. Because we are human beings and not human doings so much. So we could want to have a desire, a longing to experience the beauty of nature. This is just, of course, really just like one example. And I could say I've got arrived. There's no more other place to go. There's no more other place to be. There's always a point within our human experience that we also get bored of having arrived. I mean, imagine, what if you would have achieved the highest spiritual dimension that you can imagine, the ninth dimension, or whatever you want to call it, the dimension of divine oneness and infinite. And then you're there and you also realize, so there's no duality, I cannot experience anything at all. If you really would like to know what I could feel like, why not go check out a few of my meditations. So for example, I could create the goal for myself, like I want to become a better cinematographer. I want to create really more from the heart, is to share, is to tell inspirational stories, is to share my experiences and insights, and really work from within, is to experience a higher level of inner peace and joy and satisfaction of creating and being in the moment. That's an experience I would like to achieve, is to get more out of the mind, the rational mind, the ego mind that is always concerned about, let's say, the personal brand, the recognition, the validation, and forget about that and focus more on being in a moment. And then we really go to insight number 2. How would you like to grow? How would you like to grow as a person, as an individual? So what is it that you would like to experience first? And how would you like to grow within that process? Like I just said as an example. Having the goal of becoming a better artist. Maybe you have a vision. Maybe you have been inspired by others and you also would like to develop these skills. And while doing so, at the same time, you also go into step number 3. Inside number 3, and what that is, what kind of contributions do you want to make? When you are working from within, the experience that you would like to experience more inner peace and joy and purpose and passion and drive and excitement, which you can experience in, let's say, traveling to different places, really get in touch with nature, as a few examples, because you want to grow as an artist and cinematographer, or whatever it is that you have envisioned for yourself. Then of course the contributions, like what is it that you really want to share with the world? Well, of course you're really working from this experience that you want to experience and the way you want to grow for yourself. And then you're less focused on these conditions and expectations that you have projected outside of yourself and then expect something from your outside world to return to you. And then you also don't have to go through this disappointment that is not coming. Instead, you really work on your own inner world. And the outer world simply becomes a reflection of that what you really want to experience for yourself. I believe that's really what the true abundance that we are seeking for, the type of fulfillment that we really want to experience. Now, of course, there are always these elements like, okay, I've been outside in nature for the entire day, filming and working on these type of video projects. When I come back and I upload my footage on my computer, I start working and I realize, like, unbelievable, that's a lot of footage I must edit, and it takes days and days and days, and then I get bored and I find myself in procrastination and distractions and whatnot. So there's always a duality that comes with it. So no matter how clear you have the answers, there will always be a challenge that will lead you off your path. Perhaps it is insecurity like I'm spending all this time becoming a content creator, for example, and yet nothing is coming back in return. I look to all my previous work that I've done so far, and I know that it's not the social validation that is going to satisfy me. Yet it is kind of important in order to make a living out of that. And then you see, like, wait a minute, I don't see the results, and then the doubts and the fears and the insecurity is kicking in, and you say to yourself, I want to become an artist, but how am I going to make a living out of that? How am I going to sustain myself from that, let alone experience more freedom, abundance and independence? And then this insecurity wants you to jump onto job sites because you want that financial security. And then again, you nothing experience more than disappointments and more disappointments. And you disconnect yourself from that experience that you had envisioned for yourself. So, welcome at reflection time. At these struggles we are dealing with as highly sensitives and empaths, this is something that we constantly must give ourselves reminders of who we really choose to be and choose to become for ourselves. What kind of satisfaction and fulfillment do we want to experience for ourselves? What kind of experiences are we after? How do we want to grow? And what kind of contributions do we want to make? We make these contributions by working on ourselves. Is to really to find our true gifts. Gifts that does not feel like working. It makes you feel present and joyful and satisfied by just working on it. You become more unconditional towards the outside world, and then true abundance can flow to you and through you because you're not expecting anything from it. And I think that's really what authentic entrepreneurship or authentic creation really means. So what are your thoughts about this? Any insights you would like to share, any questions? Please let me know, simply dropping a comment below. And also don't forget to subscribe if you want more of these type of videos. For now, thank you for being here, spending the time with me. And I'm very curious. What kind of experiences do you want to experience? How do you want to grow? Or what kind of contributions do you want to make? Please let us know by simply dropping a comment below. And I look forward to see you on my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.